This could help protect my precious pearly whites.
As a nation, our favourite foods are changing as we become ever braver in our eating habits. Our supermarkets are now full of aisles devoted to exotic foods and spices. But our absolute favourite spicy dish is curry. In fact, it's estimated that we spend an astonishing £4 billion on it every year.
I love a curry, but I've always thought they were bad for you. Could my Friday night favourite have any health benefits? I want to know what's in a curry, and is it any good for me?
I've come to Leicester in the heart of the Midlands. This is Britain's Curry Central, where there are more curry houses than anywhere else in the country. Where better to discover what's really inside a curry than one of Leicester's famous Belgrave Road curry spots. And I've invited along nutritionist Azmina Govinji to tell me if there are any wonder ingredients in curry that could boost my health.
Azmina, I've always thought that curry was really indulgent.
Well, when you think of a curry, you visualise that orange layer of oil on the top, don't you? But there are things you can do to make your curry really healthy, and some of the traditional spices and ingredients can actually be good for you.
I have to confess, I've never made it at home because I've always thought it was really complicated.
Oh, most curries have the same basic steps. It's easier than you think.
Chef Hamid is going to take us through the creation of a curry step by step.
He's going to start off with his oil or ghee. Yeah. You could use a sunflower, a corn or a rapeseed oil.
Next thing that's going in
are the onions. Yep, and the onions give you that lovely texture and creaminess that most curries need. And what's interesting is onions are one of the best sources of a substance called quercetin. Scientists are getting really interested in quercetin.
While Hamid cooks up a storm, I'm off to the local vegetable market to investigate the power of quercetin with Dr. Steve Alexander. He's a man who definitely knows his onions.
So Steve, I know onions contain this magical compound. What is it?
So it's a compound called quercetin, which are naturally occurring in fruit and vegetables, and which is part of our diet.
How can it be helpful for our health?
Well, the hypothesis goes that if you have quercetin over a number of years, that what you'll end up with is a much better cardiovascular system. So your decline that occurs naturally with age will be slowed down. So running up and down stairs is something you can do when you're 20 and less easy when you're 70.
Well, even when you're 30, it becomes... So can you tell which onions have the highest levels of quercetin?
We can, but not without doing a little bit of biochemistry.
Let's do it.
So what I did last night was I took the same amount of each of these 3 different sorts of onions and blended them in just a regular handheld blender at home.
Delicious. So this is red onion juice,
yeah,
white onion juice,
and spring onions.
And spring onion juice. None of which I'd like to taste. So what are you going to do with them now?
There's a dye reagent I'm going to add to them which will react with the quercetin and generate a colour which should be a dark blue.
So this dye will show us the levels of quercetin in each of these test tubes?
Yeah, indeed. So you can see that the red onion has the most quercetin in it because it's got the darkest colour compared to the other 2.
In fact, when Steve tested these samples in the lab, he found the red onion had up to 50% more quercetin than the other 2.
So if I want to boost my quercetin levels, I should use red onion in my curry?
Red onion will certainly give you a lot more than the white onion or the spring onion.
So a curry a day?
Could be very good for you.
Maybe not that often then.
The power of the onion. Back in the kitchen, it's reaching curry crunch time as more crucial ingredients are added to the mix.
So Azmina, it's really starting to look like the base of something now. Your cumin, your onions, your ginger, garlic, and the tomatoes have just gone in.
Interesting about tomatoes is that it's one of the few foods that gets better for you once you cook or process it.
Tomatoes are packed full of an important nutrient called lycopene, which can protect the skin against UV rays and which scientists think may cut the risk of certain diseases. the cooking process can actually increase lycopene content by 50%.
So this is where it starts to get interesting. Now it really smells like a curry. We've got your chili, your coriander, cumin powder, and your turmeric. Really colourful.
Aren't they? And spices like this are the basis of most curries. There's a lot of really good research on spices. In fact, here in the University of Leicester, there's a group of academics particularly interested in turmeric.
To find out more about turmeric's spicy secrets, I've invited Dr. Leonie Norris to join me at the Curry House.
So Leonie, I've heard turmeric has some amazing properties, but it doesn't really look like much. Looks like a mouldy potato.
It does at the moment, but actually what we're really interested in is what's inside turmeric, which is something called curcumin. And it's curcumin that gives turmeric this lovely bright yellow colour.
And this is what stains your fingers if you use it.
And chopping boards and everything else.
Everything it touches.
That is curcumin.
Okay. And why are you interested in curcumin?
Well, we're interested in the actual anti-cancer properties of curcumin. Some studies have shown actually that Asian populations who consume a lot of turmeric in their diet have a lower incidence rate of bowel cancer.
So that's amazing that curcumin might be able to prevent cancer. But how does it actually work?
Well, so what we have here are some cancer cells that are untreated, and here we have some cancer cells that have been treated with curcumin. Hopefully what you'll be able to see is that the curcumin-treated cancer cells are moving a lot slower and generally appear to be a lot less happy.
So the curcumin is really slowing down the spread of the cancer?
That's certainly what we believe in the lab. It appears to be inhibiting cell growth, and it can cut off blood supply to the cells, which inevitably then will cause cells death.
That seems really powerful stuff.
It's pretty amazing.
It's still too early to know exactly how much turmeric is needed in the diet to have an effect. But with clinical trials now underway, Leonie and her colleagues believe their research could lead to a real breakthrough in combating bowel cancer. From the heart-helping power of the onion to the cancer-busting properties of turmeric, it seems curry is brimming with nutritional secrets.
I'm amazed that curry can pack such a powerful health punch. And now that I'm a curry chef extraordinaire, I'll definitely be making it more often.